Hello, I'm Adriana. I'm a Master SoulPath mentor, and today's intuitive reading, we are opening up this space for messages and information to come through from the higher guidance. This is from our personal higher guidance, like guides, angels, and anyone on the other side, as well as, I believe, just kind of the beneficial energies overseeing the entire collective. So I think we're going to get a mix of very specific but also very broad messages. But if you feel drawn to watch this video, then there will be something meaningful for you in here. I'm also asking for protection for all of us, divine protection from the other side. Not because there's anything to be afraid of, but because at this time there's a lot of kind of crazy energies with the Mercury retrograde and the Lion's Gate in Leo opening up. There's a lot of stuff kind of floating around there, and it's really important that if you're sensitive, like we are, you just keep yourself centered, grounded, and asking for that little bit of extra protection. Kind of like an extra raincoat. You know, if the forecast is rain, you want to make sure you bring your raincoat. That kind of a thing. All right. Oh boy. I just had 3 cards fall out for us. Queen of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. Really take your time to be grounded at this time and to take time for meditation. The healing that can happen for us in meditation is very strong right now. I think this is kind of piggybacking on what I was just talking about, that when we go into meditation and we slow down and we connect with the part of us that's beyond the busy mind and the part of us that's beyond, like, I've got to get all this done now, there is more healing and protection that can come in for us. But there is a strong need to stay very grounded at this time. Okay, we've got Taurus energy, we've got Capricorn energy, very strong, earthy, heavy in the sense that they are rooted on the earth signs. So be sure to take your time to do that. There might be another message in there, so I'm just going to hold on to that for a second while we get the rest of the cards out. Okay, strengths for us at this time. Justice, challenge, Ace of, now that's interesting, Ace of Wands, because that's actually kind of that's the North Node that we're talking about. Justice is the Libra South Node, the collective South Node right now, and Aries, Ace of Wands, is our collective North Node. And if you don't know what that is, that's okay. It is basically the energy that is helping all of our souls evolve right now from the negative relationship patterns that we've inherited, codependence, people-pleasing, wishy-washiness, holding our own needs and desires down for others, being afraid of showing up as we truly are, being afraid of our own independence. That is what we're working away from, and we're trying to go towards more independence. We're trying to go towards more belief in the self, more confidence with the self, more assertion. But what's interesting to me is that the growth right now is the challenge, that the direction we're going is challenging us. So I think, you know, justice is also the law of karma. It's for every action there is a consequence, and we're dealing with a lot of the consequences of our past actions. And I think the retrograde is also bringing back situations to give us the opportunity to reflect and evaluate, were these past circumstances, or how do I put this a little bit more simply? Do I still want this in my life? Basically, that's the question. When a situation comes back that looks like something that happened in the past, you're given the opportunity to discern, do I want this still? Does it really fit with my sense of self? Does it make me feel inspired? Does it make me feel energized? Does it make me feel fired up? If the answer is no, then we need to do work to release that situation. Okay, what else? Ten of Pentacles. That's kind of nice. Give me the rest. Interesting. Okay, this is the second time this card has come out for me today. This came out in a personal reading this morning, and it's back. It's back. All right. So in the subconscious, we are dealing with this Nine of Swords energy. And actually, this is feeling a bit like dread. And dread is about, okay, I see what the future could be. I think it's going to be not great. I don't like what I think the future is going to be, and I'm reluctant to go through it. I'm resisting the pull to go through it. And it's definitely the voice of fear talking. It's not the voice of love or even logic talking. It's convinced that the future is going to be, it's going to be negative, or the future is going to be again, something you're dreading. It's kind of hard to define dread, but let me get a little clearer on that. Because this is subconscious energy, and in order for us to shift, we have to resolve what is in our subconscious. That is what soul guidance, soul path, even the spiritual path is about. Releasing, resolving what's in our subconscious so we can have a different conscious experience, because in the conscious we have the Four of Pentacles. So you are desiring to have a more stable future, a handle on the future, and there's an optimism there. So you want to think more positively about the future. We've got a crescent moon at the top, so it's kind of like it hangs in the balance. It's neither dark, it's neither dark nor light. So there's a bit of uncertainty going on as to what the future actually is, what the future is going to hold. And again, I can't emphasize enough, that's why it's so important to stay grounded in the present. It's really important to stay grounded in the present, because if you are, our present moment creates our future, right? So if we're feeling dread in the present moment, we're going to have something to dread in the future. If we're feeling calm and centered in the present, then no matter what happens, we're going to go in with our best chance of dealing with this situation in the most positive way. So because of, it's kind of complicated, right? Even if you do everything right, we're still going to have stuff happen. We're still going to have negative stuff happen and challenging situations happen, because we are about strengthening our abilities to move through anything in the most positive, the most centered, and the most grounded way possible. Okay, so yes, it would be nice to have a life where nothing negative ever happens, but that doesn't happen down here. That's just not real. That's not reality. So the point is that sometimes we get an intuition, or we get like a warning, like a forewarning that there's going to be something challenging or something we may not want to face in the future. And there's a few ways we can handle this. We can either get swept away in that feeling, and that's when the anxiety builds, and then that becomes worry, and then that becomes dread, because we're fixated on the feeling of fear or discomfort. Or we can say, okay, yeah, this isn't great. I'm getting this feeling that something uncomfortable or something not good is going to happen in the future. How can I best approach this? And I'm telling you, the anxiety or the dread is not the best way, because you're already weakening yourself. You're already warping your thoughts, warping your emotional reactions to the possible future with fear. It's already getting distorted and twisted. And like I said, it's weakening you, because fear causes us to draw inward and to clench and to not move. And whenever we're held in one position, we're over exerting our energy only in one direction. We're not allowing give and take or flow or expansion. We have to, our bodies and the way we go through life, it has to be a pair. It has to expand and release. It has to inhale and exhale. And when we go into fear, we contract. And a lot of times we forget to exhale. We're not taking any more positive energy in. And then when you stop breathing, your heart energy gets cut off. And then your heart energy is your connection to the higher guidance, which could help you, but you cut that off when you sit in fear. So anyway, I want to get kind of back on where we were, trying to get more clarity about this dread. I think what I'm saying is that we always have a choice about how we want to meet the day, how we want to meet our challenges. Knowing that there are going to be challenges, how do we want to do it? Do we want to do it so we'll succeed and move through quickly? Or do we want to do it so that we make it even harder than it actually is? What is the dread about, please? Queen of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. There's a fear about evening up the score. There's a fear that you owe someone something. Queens are usually mother figures, but I don't like to be so specific in a collective reading about that, because mother energy can come from a lot of different places. However, I am getting that this is, just going back on what I said, this is specifically a mother energy. So there's a fear that you owe. It's like someone comes to you demanding a debt, and either it's a debt you don't want to pay, or it's a debt you feel you can't pay, like you can't afford to pay what this is. And this could be money, but it also could be energetic. It could be karmic feeling. So there's a dread that you're not going to be able or willing to meet the demands. And I think there's also a fear that it's going to take down any stability that you've built for yourself. You're really afraid that they're going to come and either undermine it or completely obliterate it. Okay, so that is very understandable. We come back to our original. And remember, just as I talked about, also has to do with the law of karma, of every action having a consequence. And if you have been on the right side of your actions, and that means connected to your heart, connected to your intuition, acting in a way that's as true to yourself as you can be, understanding that we are all works in progress, but as true to yourself as you can be, you have nothing to worry about. If you are indebted to someone, paying that debt isn't going to come at a big cost to you. Now, if you have been kind of if you haven't had integrity with your actions, there may be a debt you have to pay. But again, I don't get the feeling that this is going to be that big of a drain. And the reason why that is because in the future I see the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is the goal. This is security. This is stability. This is more than enough. This is more for the future. And so I think that whatever karmic debt needs to be righted here is going to actually pay off big dividends in the future. And I am talking energetic. It may come to you in the form of money, but I am talking energetically. So I hope this helps you. What I'm seeing in the cards here is that you have nothing to worry about. You're going to come out on top anyway. And so I hope that that information really encourages you to find your grounding, to find your center, and to release that fear about the future. Release the fear about this debt. Okay, now is there anything you wanted to tell us about the Knight of Cups? We had the Knight of Cups in the immediate past. Okay, this is seeking a bigger connection with your heart, bigger connection with your heart energy. I think it's pretty true across the board with very few exceptions that all of us are working on opening our heart, because we've lived in a very critical, competitive world for a long time. The heart chakra has been really challenged to open. And let me get a few more cards on that. The Knight of Cups is seeking that deeper connection with your own heart, but let's go even more. Okay. Four of Cups and the Chariot. So it looks like you also have done some soul searching, or at least soul questioning in the past, really trying to sort out what is right for you, what is not right for you. And okay, this is kind of pulling together. In doing that soul searching, you've come to the conclusion that you need to release yourself, or you need to break away from a non-productive relationship. And I mean toxic, I mean just not going anywhere, a non-productive relationship. But you're finding it challenging to do that. And again, there's this fear of maybe I can't afford what it costs to do this. I can't afford the loss that this is going to take. However, you and your soul have decided that this is the direction you want to go. And by following it, you are going to receive more than you're going to have drained. That's the thing with the soul path, is that even though it asks us to struggle, even though it asks us to challenge, sometimes it feels like the very, very fiber, the very core of who you are. So that it almost feels like you're down to the very last cell of yourself, and you're still challenging or fighting your way through. When you follow it, and when you finally work through what you're being asked to work through, it's always reward. It always comes in the form of some kind of reward. And it's a reward that means something to your soul. It's a meaningful reward. And that's why I don't want to limit it by saying, oh yeah, it's pentacles, or it's money, or it's a relationship or something. It's very personal to you, and it's personal to your soul. But you're struggling to extricate yourself from this non-productive relationship, and yet you've already set it in motion. You and your soul have already set this in motion. Okay, Six of Cups. Again, we're looking back to the past. Now, this was the advice from the higher self. Let me just pull out the rest of these so I see where we're going. Okay, Magician. Seven of Wands. Okay, nice cards coming out. Okay, now why is our advice here the Six of Cups? So, I don't know if it's low self-esteem causing this, but it's almost like you're on the wrong side of debt. Like you haven't remembered how much you've also given to this non-productive relationship. What have you also put in? You're feeling like you're on the light side of it, like you owe more somehow, but actually that's not true. I think the Six of Cups is asking you to look back and get a bit more clear with this, get a bit more level with it, get a bit more real, because it's how you feel. It's not exactly the way it is. Okay, what else is trying? I'm getting so many different messages, and it's hard I'm asking it to coalesce into one message here. Interesting. Okay, the Six of Cups is saying that actually, or I'm sorry, the energy that's coming through the Six of Cups here is saying that, again, there's part of you that's already moved on. And it's only on the superficial level that you're kind of fighting this. So don't make it bigger than it is. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill here, because I think this was decided in the past. So if this is a karmic debt, it was already decided how this was going to be fulfilled and that there was going to be a karmic release. So you're not doing anything new, you're actually following a script. So it's kind of like stage fright has to do with not knowing how you're going to be accepted, right? But you're having stage fright even in a read through of the script. And it kind of doesn't make sense because you wrote that script yourself. So just remember that this is written, it's actually already in the other plane, in the whatever you want to call it, the quantum plane or the ethereal plane, it's already moved on, like it's already wrapped up. We've already sent the folks home and we've closed down the theater, it's already done. So just keep that in mind. This holding on here, it's really not, there's a disconnect between the way things are actually in your soul and energetically and what your mind is choosing to say about this. Now in your environment, you've got the Magician. So what's going on there? Okay, asking, I need to get a little bit more story on that. Strengthen the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so there is an energy in your world right now, probably coming from a person that is really encouraging you to look on the inside and the outside. Now, they may not know that they're encouraging you to do this, but these cards, the energy here is about reconciling the inner with the outer. The inner desires with the way the outer world looks and making sure that they are in line with each other. Okay, so, one thing, an example of this, I'll give you an example. I love my alone time so much. I love my kind of hermit time so much that sometimes I do find it hard to extend myself to other people. When there's an opportunity for work or where a client comes in, I'm like, I don't really know if I want to do this, even though it brings me joy. So I'm living kind of in, if I don't reconcile that, or when I haven't reconciled that in the past, I'm living in an incongruence where I'm saying, yes, I want to help people. Yes, I want to do what my heart wants to do, which is help people, but I really want to be alone. I really want to stay alone with myself. So you see, the inner and the outer aren't quite matching. Or you might be saying, I would really like more friends. I'd really like more friends or people to come into my life. But if you have a belief that no one is good enough, then either you'll block the people coming in or you'll push them away. Other things like, yes, I want the job of my dreams, but I don't believe I have the skills. So it's this kind of, it's really actually a self-betrayal because we're trying to manifest. Our soul wants to create, wants us to co-create, but we're stomping on our seedlings just as they're beginning to grow. Or we get the horse ready to run out of the gate and then we lock the gate. So really challenge yourself with that, because the Magician, I think, is saying that we're coming up to this place or this portal where we are asking for our heart's desires to come through, because Leo, the lion, is all about what does the heart want. And this is going to be a time when we are really needing to open our hearts and lean into what it really wants so that we can create the life of our dreams, because this is the highest potential. Six of Cups, the wish fulfillment. Okay, you get your desire, your wish is answered. But we have to release all this other junk first. Now, Seven of Wands is interesting to me. You actually do identify as the warrior. You see yourself as a spiritual fighter, one who will do the right thing. And there is an unconscious desire to be more powerful than you are. allowing yourself to be. I think that's why we also had the magician. Magician is power, your superpower. How are you using your power? There's a part of you that knows you are more powerful than you are currently showing up to be. But because of these imagined fears, or again, this I owe someone something, you're holding part of yourself back. But I think you're tired of that. I think you do want to show up as that strong warrior presence. And where's the next thread from here? I believe that this card is really encouraging you. It's like you encouraging you to fight for yourself, fight for what you know is right for yourself. That would be the resolution of all of this together. Fighting for what is right. So fighting Aries for the justice, for what is right, what is true, what makes sense for you. That's these two cards together. So I do feel like there's this deep sense of yourself as a very powerful, strong, and I will say protected being. This is maybe not the person you see in the mirror, but it is the essence of yourself. And it's kind of like this warrior is rising up saying, enough is enough. I'm tired. I'm tired of playing smaller. I'm tired of fighting these petty little battles that the mind is making you fight. This stuff that you're choosing to fight in your mind, I should say. There's some funny wording there. And you're saying kind of enough is enough. I'm ready for my heart's desires to come forward. I'm ready for this to be all resolved. And, our last message, I think it's going to be our last message. And I have to say that there is a lot of presence for us in this reading right now. There's a lot of energy around me right now. I'm actually overheating from all of the energy. So there is a lot of encouragement for you, for us, for everyone who is on this path right now. And so just keep that in mind. There's a lot of energy streaming through. Okay, the moon. Now, I actually feel like this card is talking about opening that inner pathway. It's like we're opening that inner pathway to the inner sanctuary, and this is what we find there, that warrior. And the warrior is like he's been sleeping, or she has been sleeping, he, she, both have been sleeping, and it's like time. It's time for this energy to wake up and come out and help you cut through a lot of the mental BS, emotional BS you've been putting up with from yourself and from other people. And this energy is going to help you, I want to say, kind of purge and I think it's purge. It's not release, it's purge a lot of this junk that has been in your way. And all you have to do is allow this part of yourself to awaken. And I think, we're back to our message from the beginning. Allow yourself to meet this energy in meditation first, so that when it starts to sweep through your life, you're not so caught off guard. Because if we don't, so interesting, all these layers kind of coming in at once. This energy, the Seven of Wands, it is dormant, it is sleeping within us. And if we don't take time to make a relationship with it and reconnect with it, this energy is going to attract that kind of sweeping, purging, challenging energy, because we're supposed to have this kind of experience, this warrior experience. But if you go into meditation, you're going to connect with this warrior, and then you're going to be, it's like you're walking together. It's like you're standing and fighting side by side, rather than feeling attacked or feeling like all of a sudden everything is overwhelming. So, if you're a tarot card reader, or if you like tarot yourself, it's a Tower moment versus a Chariot moment. In the Tower moment, it's sudden, it's a shock. It comes to you and you're like, oh my God, whoa. And the shock is on purpose to kind of push you out of complacency, to push you out of where you were stuck. Now, if it's the Chariot, you're alongside of that fast moving energy. You're with that fast moving energy. You are not subject to it. You're right alongside of it. You're in the Chariot with the charioteer. You're riding in there. So that's the difference. And you can choose, again, you can choose. If you're like, oh yeah, okay, well, I've got other stuff I want to do, that's fine. Just be warned that you're going to have some intense stuff come up. If you are more, if you want to make a different choice, then go in and meditate. Stay grounded, stay grounded. I'm saying that a lot because it's the earth energy that balances the fire. Stay grounded, meditate, connect with this warrior energy so that it doesn't overwhelm you when the moment arises. Okay, I'm going to stop the reading there. Thank you so much for joining me. Any questions or any comments? Always love to hear from you. And if you'd like a personal reading or you're interested in some mentorship, please do check out soulguidancewithAdriana.com. There are links in the description below. And I will see you soon.